So that we can be seen.
Hey Brian, you are working so many years for the European General Motors,
yes,
especially
yes.
for Opel. We met many times before talking about the Astias, Corsas, etc. But right now we are in the. This is Motown here, Detroit, and so heart of the automotive. And if you are looking around, everybody is here. This is really very interesting. Everybody is here, from the top executives to the most important designers. And for example, Lamborghini is not there, but the CEO of Lamborghini, Winkelmann, is walking around.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Everyone's looking to what the American brands are doing right now.
Right.
My first question, can we talk about this celebration after strong phase of the automotive industry right now? And so you are bringing the newest models while you are keeping many years, 2 years, you are keeping the new models. Right now we are losing every new model to the market. It's just the global market. Can we talk about this?
Yeah, if I understand you correctly, are you talking about basically the new nameplates that we're launching now?
Yes, nameplates and new models, for example.
Like the Sonic here?
Yeah, Sonic, and on the other side, the new Silverado was waiting 2 years with this new design, as I know.
Right. Well, certainly a lot of the older U.S. nameplates will be refreshed.
Yeah.
And so, you know, nameplates that have a lot of equity, like Silverado, of course, Impala, Malibu. You'll see the 8th Gen Malibu. But at the same time, the Cruze is, you know, in the middle of its launch, pretty much launched already now. So there are some older nameplates for the U.S. market, but the global showroom, the global nameplates, we're starting to see kind of, I think, that picture a little more clearly with, and I think the Sonic's a good piece of that.
Yes. But on the other side, if you are looking to the Chevrolet Cruze, you know Chevrolet is thoroughbred American. Okay, in Latin America, it was different. But in Europe, you know, Chevrolet is a thoroughbred American brand. So bold design, so powerful, big vehicles.
Right.
Now, Cruze is accepted for the American customers very much. The styling is very nice, everything is good, but it's not what we know and what we were darling Chevrolet cars, what we remember.
Right.
What's your comments?
Well, and John can right. I mean, John can speak to this too because he was working in Korea, developing a lot of Chevrolets there. It's a global brand, but it's not necessarily wants to be perceived as an import brand around the world. What it wants to be is a local brand hero in all its local markets. So it has to be extremely relevant no matter what market it sells in. So certainly the truck market, like a Silverado, is an anomaly to the rest of the world. It's really only relevant to the U.S. borders. And you know, all we have to do is just go across the river to Canada to see kind of more of that global type of portfolio and that global identity and how important it is. So I think from that standpoint, we have to consider designs that really can stretch that kind of bandwidth. You know, not everything can have the kind of machismo of a Camaro or a Silverado, because we really need that kind of global identity to have global appeal. And if we don't allow ourselves to grow and stretch that way, then we could actually suffer a little bit in being too much of a niche identity. Yeah, that's bold, but it's too polarizing for me. And the truth is, Chevrolet, as our largest, you know, it's our big volume brand around the world, has to had very high appeal among really a whole bandwidth of demographics. So,
and can we talk that South Korean production place is right now not anymore South Korean. This is right now a global production place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And about the design, you have right now a brand identity, or you have right now only model identity, because it's changing too much on the. If you are looking for the models, for example, the degrees on the Silverado. Okay, Silverado is extreme. But if you are looking to the front side, to the face of the Sonic or Cruise,
yes,
they are similar.
Yes,
but the Americans are still different. As the
yeah,
are you
they're
planning
still
to bring everything together?
Well,
we are looking this Chevrolet in Japan maybe, or in Turkey,
right.
Germany.
Yeah, the idea of thinking, well, there's all this truck equity in a Silverado, so let's make trucks look more like the cars, or cars look like trucks. That really isn't a strategy that we're that interested in. I mean, the idea is that the truck market is kind of its unique market in the United States, and we have to have a very competitive truck. Has to have its own distinctive identity. But do people in Latin America or Europe need to recognize it? Probably not.
Okay. But if we are talking also about the new engines, etc., can you say that this new design of the Chevrolet models are compatible with the new engine forces of the new models?
Right. Yes.
For example, if you are looking, you have very nice new engines, small engines, but huge power. So, really interesting. If you are looking to the small
like the 1.4, yes.
It is really interesting. Small car, but speedy car, and looks very big, very aggressive. So,
yeah, very aggressive.
And it is very interesting. It brings it looks like very expensive car. But
Good.
Look at the Spark, for example.
Yes.
Spark, if you're looking not like this on the very close, but if you're looking with 20 meters distance, the car looks like huge car, so beautiful design, and so it looks expensive.
Yes. Yeah.
I think you want that car, small cars, to be a car of choice, not the car that you have to buy out of necessity. In general, the customer.
Yeah.
You want them to want to buy this car. A lot of times small cars are like, I have to buy it because I don't have that kind of resources. So I'm going to make all the small cars have their own unique personality, very spirited, a draw to the customer. So I think that's what you're seeing in the Spark, the Sonic, and the Cruise. Very provocative designs that appeal.
And right now we have in US market a Cruise hatchback.
Not in the U.S. market.
Not in the U.S. market?
No. It'll launch. It's launching in Europe.
Launching in Europe?
It's launching in Europe, and I don't know if it'll be in Canada or not.
I'm not certain.
Okay, no problem. But Cruise we know as a beautiful sedan car. You have a big chance also on the volume, on the sales volume, for the hatchback version of the Cruise.
For the States, that's larger hatchbacks or compact size hatchbacks are very low volume right now.
And
I think it'll be interesting with the demographics, kind of how the subcompact, the B-class hatchbacks do, like the Sonic, because they're very appealing in that proportion, in that size. They're a good value to your point. They have a lot of performance, so they're fun to drive.
Yes.
And certainly the assignment here and what John's team was executing was how could we visually articulate fun to drive.
Okay.
So you don't feel like you're compromised by buying the smaller vehicle. You feel that it has a real point of view. But the Golf size hatchbacks still are very small appeal in the U.S. market. Maybe that'll change when younger generations get into Sonics and then they want to move up, but it is amazing. It's always been, the Jetta's always outsold the Golf by a tremendous amount.
Last week I was writing an article in the most selling weekly magazine in Turkey. That my comment was that still the design of the models of the vehicles, of the cars, passenger cars, is selling point for the customers.
Yes.
Not the green details of the cars, not the performance, not the interior gadgets, etc. Citizen, can you confirm?
Yes. I mean, certainly for many Chevrolet models, the number one reason for purchase is appearance. And so, so we work very hard on our design team to make sure that we're trying to keep the car as relevant as possible and as dramatic as possible. And it is still, the initial product differentiator.
Yes.
To your point, I mean, a lot of those other variables, those other metrics, the stats on the performance, fuel economy, overall maintenance costs, your lease payment, all of that is in a very competitive environment. Everybody's within a few numbers of everybody else. So how else can you differentiate? And even if you're first to market on some of those metrics, it won't be long before somebody's getting there right behind you. And so you do want to constantly try to be first to market, but design still becomes one of those major differentiators from the initial point of consideration.
Then we must say that the salaries of the designers should be higher than engineers.
And we will build it right here in southeastern Michigan in our Orion assembly plant. In fact, Sonic will be the only small car built in the United States by any manufacturer. Ford, Honda, Toyota, and all the others build their small cars somewhere else. Sonic will be made in the USA, and yes, in fact, Chevy runs deep. We are the only car manufacturer that is going to build this segment for profit in the United States. So, we're very proud of that. The workforce and all the people on the team are very committed to make it work. It's really creating the future for the Orion Assembly plant. The fuel economy models of small cars in the U.S. in the past were sort of stripped down versions of things. We took all the equipment out of it, we saved the mass, we put some strange tire combination on it to get fuel economy, and now if you look at this, we've actually designed in content. Underbelly pans, really sophisticated tire combinations that give us low rolling resistance and good handling. And then you look at things that we've done like aero shutters on some of our cars that actually close out the front of the car. You get better aerodynamics. Those are the things that people want because the operating cost savings immediately pays back for the investment in the content and the strategy. So very different car, very high value, but not the cheapest car around. And I think customers really appreciate that.
What's changing? The
Cadillac image in the world right now because we have new design, and but still we are seeing some very luxury and comfortable Cadillacs, and on the other side we are doing a kind of dynamic way on the design. Can you explain us, please?
You bet. I think traditionally Cadillac was large luxury, and we have a philosophy internally in Cadillac which we call art and science. Because at one time Cadillac was the most progressive, most dynamic brand that we had, and it was really on the leading edge of design and form and powertrain. And so that's one component. The other side is that luxury has changed. And when we look at our luxury competitors, that now it's not just luxury and smooth ride, but it's about performance and dynamics and expressiveness. And when we look at vehicles like the CTS, especially the coupe, the cars are athletic, they're youthful, they're dynamic, they have a sense of direction and sense of speed. And part of it is the language that we use with these sheer forms and shapes. But luxury is changed, and it wants to be something very, very distinctive, has a sense of power, a sense of majesty, but also a sense of agility and dynamics. And that's really where we're taking Cadillac as a brand.
And on the other side, with this new design, it also smells some much more sporty details. For example, you are producing right now the most powerful and speedy sedan.
Absolutely.
This is Cadillac CTS V sedan, and you have the world record, the Nürburgring record right now in Germany. But it's not only from the design, it comes something from other details of the cars, this performance.
Absolutely. The whole architecture of the car is designed to handle and have agility. You look at the shapes, the fenders that are out, and then the wheels are postured out, which gives it a nice aggressive track. There's a tremendous amount of effort going on in powertrains, in suspension development, shock development, steering controls and drive. All of these things benefit. We have a supercharged V8 engine that's 556 horsepower.
Yes.
I mean, that's a big part of it.
Yes.
But everything else works along with that powertrain in harmony. So the car is compliant and soft. There's adjustability in the suspension, so you can tune what you want. Even the traction control has multiple modes in traction control. So all of it works together as a dedicated team who has developed all of that. And you're right, we have fastest speed around the Nürburgring with a sedan, and it's a wonderful first time ever that Cadillac has been in a position like that. And it's a wonderful position to be in.
And on the premium brands right now, there is like a mode, or how can I explain? It's very trendy right now. For example, Mercedes has AMG,
Yes.
BMW has M, Audi has RS or up other things. Okay, but you have the V. So V it is also expensive. But you are bringing the premium quality right now with the premium speed limits, or?
Yes. Yeah, and I think it is expensive, much more expensive than our traditional cars. But what's amazing with our Vs, they're still attainable.
That's true. Not like the others.
Not like the others.
Like the Germans.
Yes.
Okay, Clay. Last question. Can we talk about with the new designs of Cadillacs? Because are they still the American taste, or are they global taste right now? Are you planning to show these cars to the world, or only for North American market?
We want to have unquestionable American luxury cars. Our design, our gestures, our style that have appeal to a global market. We want to be global. We're designing our cars to be global. It's important for us, for the rest of the world, to look at Cadillacs and to have a sense of desirability. There was a time that Cadillac was called the standard of the world. That's where we're trying to take Cadillac back to. We want the globe to appreciate it. So we're approaching all of our design and all of our creation from a global point of view.